Hello everyone, I'm Nicole. Today I'm glad to share this readable book to you named Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. My sharing will include 5 parts: the summary, the characterization, the personal connection, the academic response, and the recommendations. So let's start from the first part, summary. In this part, I will talk about the author, the setting, and the plot summary. John Steinbeck, born in 1902 in California, and died in 1968 in New York, was an American novelist and best known for The Grapes of Wrath. Steinbeck attended Stanford University, Stanford, California, intermittently between 1920 and 1926, but did not take a degree. He received the Nobel Prize for Literature for 1962. And during his time away from college, Steinbeck worked as a bindle slave, a term used for migrant workers who carry bundles containing bedding and other gear. This experience later informed of Mice and Men. And about the setting of this story, the book of Mice and Men takes place on a ranch to the shores of Soledad, California. The exact date is not specified in the novella, but its events place the story against the backdrop of the Great Depression. And during the 1930s, the farms and ranches around Soledad were a major destination for agricultural workers turned homeless by economic and ecological turmoil across the United States. And now let's talk about the plot summary about this story. I draw a plot diagram here and hope it can help you to understand easier. So at the beginning of the story, two displaced migrant ranch workers, George and Lenny, were on their journey. Lenny is a strong man but have intellectual disability, and George is a small and sharp-witted man. They dreamed to have their own ranch one day. They went to a ranch in California and searched for employment there. George and Lenny started to work in the ranch. They met the boss of the ranch and his son Carly. Also workers in the ranch, Candy, Craig, Slim, and so on. In the ranch, Lenny accidentally killed a little dog and unintentionally displaces Curly since he crushed Curly's hands in an incident. Then we come to the climax. One day, Curly's wife comes to see Lenny and allows Lenny to touch her hair after their talk. But Lenny accidentally kills her. This totally pissed Curly off. He leads the workers chasing Lenny to avenge his wife. And then George discovered what Lenny did and realized he can't do anything to retrieve it. He finds Lenny and finally kills him after they talk about their dream to have their own ranch the last time. So at the end, Curly and the workers saw Lenny's body after hearing the shots, and George leaves with Slim. And next part, we are going to talk about characterization. The first character we're going to analysis is George Melton. He's the protagonist in the story. He is a skinny and resourceful man, also responsible and kind. He always takes care of his best friend Lenny, prevent him from being hurt and save him from dangerous situations time to time. He also quite depend on Lenny because friendship at the time is really precious, and Lenny's naive makes him happy and feel like their dreams can really come true one day. And next person is Lenny Small. He is a really strong man, but has an intellectual disability who thinks like kids and always forgets things. He's a gentle and kind man. He likes pet animals, but does not understand his own strength, so he often hurts what kills animals he pet. He depends on George intensely and dreams to have their own ranch one day. Then we have Curly and his wife. Curly is the son of the ranch's boss. He is a lightweight boxer who always bullies Lennis and other workers to show his power and superiority. He is an aggressive man and easily to provoked. His wife's name isn't mentioned in the whole story. She is an attractive and flirtatious young woman, and she's also a symbol of objected women. She's always feel alone and craves to be noticed, but is often misunderstood. She's finally accidentally killed by Lenny. And for the other workers, we have Candy, Crooks, Slim, and Carson. Candy is an old worker in the ranch. He lost a hand in an accident, thus he can just do some odd jobs. He fears loneliness and he wants to join George and Lenny on their dreams farm after his old sheepdog dies. Crux is the only colored people in the ranch. He's well read, knowledgeable, and intelligent, but he's a bit cynical. Slim is a skilled ranch hand who is respected. He's a calm, intelligent worm man who often plays the role of mediator. And Carson is the worker who killed Candy's old dog. He's a pragmatic and directing man. And for the next part is about the personal connection about this book. So first, I want to talk about the friendship between George and Lenny. The friendship between George and Lenny and their dreams is the most hopeful and positive theme of this story, in my point of view. They don't feel loneliness as other migrant workers like Candy and Crooks because they have each other. As you can see on the bottom on the screen is the dialogue of them talking about their dreams. And it's also my favorite paragraph, so I want to read it to you. Guys like us that work on ranches are the longest guys in the world. They got no family, they don't belong no place. Sorry for that. They come to arrange and work up a steak and then they go into town and blow their steak. And the first thing you know, they're pounding their tail on some other ranch. They ain't got nothing to look ahead to. Lenny was delighted. That is it. Now tell how it with us. George went on. With us, it ain't like this. We got a future. We got somebody to talk to that give a damn about us. We don't have to sit in no bar room blowing our jack just because we got no place else to go. If the other guys gets in jails, they can root for all anybody gives a damn, but not us. Lenny broke in. But not us, and why? Because I got you to look after me, and you got me to look after you, and that's why he laughed delightedly. This dialogue occurs 4 times in the whole story, and at the end of the story, this similar heartwarming sentences become really heartbreaking. And next, I want to talk about the Candy's old dog. The chapter on Candy's old dog's death is really sad. I never pet a dog before, but one of my best friends used to have one, which was accidentally crushed by a car when they crossed a street. And my friend was depressed for really a long time. So I think as for Candy, migrant disability ranch worker must be much more depression. And when I'm reading this book, it actually reminds me of a movie I've seen, is The Great Gatsby, because it's both about pursuing the American dream and finally falls. And Arthur Gatsby and Lenny were both shot to death when they were so close to realize their dreams, and I think that is because of their social backgrounds that make it so difficult to realize their dream. And we come to the fourth part, is academic response. And in this part, we are going to talk about difficulty level of this book and writing techniques they other use. And as for me, this book is not difficult to read. Firstly, it's a novella that just has 107 pages in the version I've read. And secondly, I've put many excerpts from the book in my PowerPoint, if you noticed, and many of them are dialogue. And the sentences structure is quite simple, just like this one. You can say the dialogue and the simple sentence. It's really easy to understand. And about the writing technical, we at least some here. The first one is foreshadowing. Steinbeck skillfully uses foreshadowing. The tragic ending is suggested in several incidents, such as the death of Candy's dog and Lenny's killing of the mice puppy. And Candy is required over not ending his dog's suffering himself, foreshadows George decide to kill Lenny himself in order to prevent him from more painful encounters. And the second one is symbolism. Steinbeck uses animal symbolism throughout the books. Like rabbits signify Lenny's dreams, while Candy's dogs equals the fate of those deemed unproductive in society. And the novel can be considered cyclical in structure, since the stories begin and ends in the same place, the brush, and George kills Lenny in the same place where they earlier spoke of their hopeful dreams. So Steinbeck illustrates the challenging circumstances and a sense of hopelessness of migrant workers during the Great Depression. And as for the narrative perspective, this book used an omniscient third-person narrator so that we can totally know how things happen, and also allows them back to portray the inner lives of these characters objectively. And the last one is similar, such as the sentence, Lenny walks the way a bear drags his paws, and Curly stepped over to Lenny like a terrier. The use of similar make the characters more vivid and attractive, and also reader can feel more realistic when reading. When we come to the last part, is the recommendation part. I would like to recommend this book to middle scholars and high scholars, and also adults, since it's meaningful and educational for scholars, and it can also provide different inspirations and considerations for different ages people, but maybe not for young children. Even if the context is not complicated, the work proved to be controversial due to its offensive vulgar language and sexually explicit content. And I think history buffs may be also interested in this book because the setting of the Great Depression reviews the social phenomena at that time and can reflect the situation realistically. And this is my works cited page. So this is my sharing today. Thank you for hearing here yet to go. Different opinions and comments are welcome. So, see you guys.